Oh, it's time to review another Jojo figure, but this time it's two. It's Kono Dilda and Zaworldo. Yes, I had to get Dio, and I had to get Zaworldo. Come on, man. Come on. I do have Jotaro and I do have Star Platinum on pre-order. They are pre-ordered, but I had to get Dio and I had to get the world because, come on, he's the big bad. He's the main bad guy. You can't have Jojo without Dio. You can't. And oh man. I did almost get Jean-Pierre Polnareff and Silver Chariot instead of this. But I decided to get this because Dio's a little more iconic. And I love Dio. Come on, everyone loves Dio. So I got both of them here. I will be reviewing both of them in this one video. But let's set them off to the side real quick. Just to show you the boxes real quick. Because they're cool and they're nice. I love the Jojo boxes. You can see they just... Man, imagine if it was one box and it came in like a 2-pack. I think that looks so cool. You can see the figures on the side. You can see kind of the artistic look of them. You can see all the different poses and the accessories they come with. It's so cool. These boxes are really neat. I'm definitely going to keep them around. And I love the metallic Jojo on the top there. That's so nice. For how expensive these figures are, I feel like a lot of the budget went into the box. Actually, let's take the box. Nah, let's keep the boxes back there. I like the boxes. I want to look at the boxes. So, let's bring in Zaworldo, and let's bring in Dio. Because these figures are great and awesome, and I love them. So if you're wondering about the sizes, you can see Dio is a little shorter than his stando. But you do have a standard 6-inch action figure like the Black Series 501st clone, and you can see these guys seem a little bit more on par with like the 6-inch size. Because then you bring in Joseph Joestar, and he's a little shorter. Joseph's a little shorter than Dio. Which, I mean, I guess Jonathan was... I mean, both Joseph and Jonathan, I thought they were supposed to be like the same size. But I guess they're about the same. Being see a little comparison there between Joseph and Dio. But yeah, these things are so sweet. Let's talk about the accessories they come with, because they come with tons. So both of them do come with the standard kind of Medicos Jojo pole, which you can see the Jojo logo, and you can see it's got articulation, and it's pretty nice. You can tighten it if you want. Now, the world did come with an extender piece. It didn't work out, and we'll see, because the peg, for some reason, just doesn't want to go into the world's back. The extender piece was made so this piece didn't have to, like, collide with, you know, those tubes on his back. But they really don't anyway, because the peg doesn't want to go in very deep at all, and it didn't want to go deep on the extension either. That's why it broke. So, honestly, this base can work. You just have to work with it a little bit and make sure you don't, like, snap it or anything. So be careful with the base on the world, but it works perfectly for Dio. So, accessory-wise, let's talk about the world first, because he's pretty basic. He comes with the basic standard head sculpt we'll get a closer look at later. Actually, let's get a closer look at it now, because I want to swap it out, because I really prefer the other head sculpt. So, you do have the basic kind of stern stand face. And unfortunately, the eyes on mine are a little crooked. But that's no biggie. You can see he's got a little bit of paint detail on the side there. He looks cool. He's got a cool looking stand look to him. It's kind of interesting how similar Crazy Diamond looks to the world. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that, but they both have like the hearts, and they both have like the superhero looking helmet. But then you have this alternate head, which is my personal favorite. I love the screaming stand head where he's just going muda muda muda, because, come on, that's what he does. He's got the little heart on the chin. That's so cool. I definitely prefer this head. And then he has fists. You can see he's kind of got like the watch on the fists there. So he has fists. That's pretty much the only hands you really need to give him. But he does come with a couple alternate hands. I don't remember him pointing, but he does come with a pointing hand. Tell me if I'm wrong. I just don't remember the world pointing. Usually it's the stand user that points, not the stand. But yeah, you have a pointing hand. Then you just have opening hands if you want them like grasping onto something, or... I mean, those hands are useful for certain poses, especially if you have them going up against Star Platinum. That's pretty much it with the world. That's it for accessories. Dio, on the other hand, comes with tons. So, let's talk about the head sculpt he has on him, because that's the only head sculpt I'm ever going to use ever. Because Look at this face. This is Dio. Now, I do have to make a point. You may see like a slight different color right there. I might, color match that later. Unfortunately for mine, he's supposed to have 2 black marks, one right on the edge of the mouth and one right where that is. But unfortunately, it was printed too off. So mine had like an extra dark mark beyond, and it looked really horrible. So I just took a little bit of tan paint and covered it. It's not a perfect color match, but it looks better than what it did before. I can easily scratch that off and color match it better if I want to later. I'm not too worried about it. I just wanted a quick fix because I didn't want to have my favorite head sculpt to look weird, because this is Dio. This is Dio. Look at that. You don't need any other freaking head, man. But you do get 2 other heads. You do. And I need to talk about one of them because it's totally useless and you should never use it ever. So you have 2 heads here. They're very similar. But as you can see, one of them is smaller. Like, this head is a good head. He's got like a little bit of a smile going on, but he still looks very stern because of the paint they used. And he's got his earrings. I don't really think you can see like his dots on his ear, though. I mean, maybe it's kind of sculpted in there. But you can see that his hair is a little more wild, too. But with this one, you can see, like, look at the proportions, like, when you touch the noses. I guess Dio's kind of in love with himself. You can, I mean, he totally is, though. I mean, you can see it's smaller. It's an actual smaller head. And I'm not okay with that. It looks really weird on the body. Don't use this head. Seriously, don't. It doesn't look like a big difference now, but when you have it on the body, it looks so bad. I gotta show you. I gotta actually show you for you to understand. So you do have the perfect head right there. You can pop it off. It's pretty easy. This is the tiny head. And you'll notice right away how tiny it is. There you go. Look how tiny it is. It's so small. It's so puny, especially compared to like the world's head. What? And take that off and then replace it with this head. And look, that looks better. I mean, the head's still a little small, but it's not super puny. It's not super puny. And keep in mind that knife right there can come out. But yeah, just don't use that tiny head. And he does come with knives. He comes with tons of knives. He comes with 6 knives, I believe. He comes with 6 of these individual knives. And it's nice that they're all individual because you can stuff them in his belt if you want. Which I have done. I did do for a picture on Instagram, but I'm not going to do here. But you can have it in his finger. He does come with this very nice hand. So you can have him, right before he does the killing blow. Well, that just fell. I'm going to find that immediately so it's not lost forever. There it is. Thank you. Ooh, stretch. There we go. Yeah, let's keep that out of the hand because I'm going to be posing him. And he comes with 2 hands like this, holding all the knives. Yes, I love it. He comes with 2 just like that. I love those hands, and that's just one solid hand. He does come with a right pointing hand, which makes total sense. He comes with 2 gripping hands for an accessory he comes with, and let's use that. So to remove the hands, it's a little scary. And I got to talk about this right away. So you can see the joint. It's kind of like a standard sort of Revoltech joint. Get out of their hair. Oh my gosh. And you can see it's like I try to move it and it's splitting. You see how it's kind of splitting a little bit before it wants to move? I'm very worried about these joints. So hold on to the joint. Pinch the joint as you work the hand off. Seriously, that will save you from breaking a wrist. And some of these are really, like, they slide on super easy, and others you really have to work them on. It's really unfortunate. But yeah, there you go. You have a gripping hand, and I'll use that in just a second. But you have that for left and right, because he'll need to hold his weapon with 2 hands. And then you have some open hands, if you want him to be more expressive, which is genuinely appreciated. Then you have this more expressive hand, which is super cool and fun. I love that hand. And then you have some more like clawed hands or more relaxed hands, however you want to see them. So you have those as well. And then you also have this collar piece, which I'm not going to lie. I don't know if he had this in the manga and not the anime, but I do not remember this from the anime. It's a collar piece. You'd pop his head off and you just put it over his collar. I don't remember this. I mean, it makes sense that he would have a collar piece given, his physical situation, but I just don't remember it in the anime. Maybe I'm wrong. It's unfortunate he doesn't come with his red cape. I might end up getting him a red cape someday, because I really want him with a red cape. And then, of course, he comes with the street sign. Yes, of course. It comes in 2 pieces in the package. I generally store it separated so it doesn't snap. And then you can just get that in his hand, and he's ready to decapitate somebody with a street sign. I love JoJo. Like, they grab street signs out of the freaking ground and use them as weapons, man. That is amazing. And then they just grab construction equipment and crush people with them. Look at that, he can just hold up this sign. Hey, do you need to know the sign? Here you go. Go that way. Don't look in my general direction. I'm not doing any vampiric activities. Vampiric activities. Anyways, yeah, he has that. That's really cool and fun. Let's get that out of his hand. And then let's twist that off and be really careful. And let's give him the pointy hand. Where is that? Now let's give him an expressive hand. Yeah, let's make him expressive. You can definitely see how this is kind of a struggle. Then you don't want to like twist it on because it's going to twist that peg. Man, that is tough. Ooh, I don't want to do that. I genuinely don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that one. A fist, maybe? Will that be easy? Oh, that's kind of hard too. Yeah, definitely be careful, man. What were the hands he came packed with? It was like the really calm hands, right? Yeah, look at how easy that just slides on. Man, that's ridiculous. So one thing I do have to say is that Dio doesn't feel as durable as Joseph or the world. He just doesn't. Most notably, I feel like his joints just they just look a little more dubious. Especially like in his knees look a little as well, but it's definitely in those elbows I worry. And I don't know, he's just got these really thin little toes, and those wrists definitely worry me. And he's also kind of creaky too, but it's not... He's not the worst. He doesn't feel like he's just going to break on me if I keep posing him. And definitely his hips are a little awkward too. You kind of have to move things out of the way, and then you have to sort of like move the joints, and I'm afraid to break them. But yeah, Dio, let's go over his articulation while I'm at it. And you can pretty much see his physical details. He's got the hearts. He's Dio. He's the boy. He's everyone's favorite British boy. He does have the same kind of shoulder thing as Joseph, which is cool. But he has the hinge and ball peg at the neck and at the head. The swivel at the shoulder. Shoulders move up and down. They move forward and back. The elbows can bend and they can move side to side, but I'd be so careful with that because of how thin that is. Then the wrists are kind of like that standard sort of wrist configuration that a lot of figures use nowadays, but be so careful. The waist is on a really good ball joint, and the torso is just kind of on a swivel. The hips, you can move these little flaps out of the way. You get the hips forward about that much, out about that much. The knees bend all the way, which is great. And then the ankles also have that kind of standard joint. But look at the plastic they used. It's kind of like that pearly plastic, so definitely be careful. He's got a toe. So yeah, Dio's really great. He's not perfect. He's not as durable as Joseph felt to me. I am afraid of breaking Dio. I'm not going to lie. I am afraid of breaking him and messing him up. But one good thing is that you can keep him on a stand, and he will stay on the stand. So I don't have to worry about, him tumbling on the shelf or anything. I do have to worry about other things falling into him. But overall, he will stay on the stand, which seems like it's getting a little loose. Might have to tighten the screws on it. But yeah, he will stay on the stand. He won't break. And speaking of stand, here's Zaworldo. You can see his details are really cool. I love the shading. And I love how he has like this green skin. It's just such a cool stand design. It's honestly one of my favorites. I love the kind of gold and green yellowy look to him. He looks badass too. I love that helmet. He just looks so cool. Like, of course the bad guy gets like one of the coolest stands. And of course Jojo is just obsessed with hearts for whatever reason. Like these characters are super masculine and yet they got hearts all over their freaking costumes. But you can see he's looking good. He's got these little tanks on his back, which are kind of on joints. And I think I had that one upside down. Or, no, I think they're fine. They do plug in, and they're a little loose, but they're not the worst. Then these pieces are also on joints, so they'll get out of your way. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He looks great, too. His articulation is similar to DIO, but he feels so much more durable. Probably because he's bulkier. You can see how far his head goes up, so you can have him go in full muda, which is great. I love that. The shoulders move up only that far, but you do have a very nice bicep swivel. He has a bicep swivel. Elbows only go 90, but he's got a lot of muscle, so I can forgive it. His wrists, standard kind of universal wrists. His torso seems a little limited. I mean, you can get it swiveling side to side, which is great. But I don't know, it's just a little limited. That totally came off. Oh, no. Yeah, be careful about those. You can see the pegs, not super deep. So be careful with the tubes. Make sure they don't fall out and you lose them. The legs feel very nice and durable. They move in and out. Only that far, though, because of the weird design. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee, and then up and down at the ankle. Kind of has that same universal joint. And a little bit of toe range, just a little bit, on his little elf shoes. So I do want to talk about how he stays on the base as well. Because, I mean, he did come with that extender. But you can see, like, I'm trying to get the peg in there, and it doesn't want to go any deeper than about that. It does not want to go any deeper. And I tried getting the extended peg in deeper, and it just totally snapped. So that's unfortunate. But you can see he stays. He stays on it. For how little it goes in, it's fine. And you can have him totally, like, his whole weight totally supported by the peg. Like, you can, if you want him, like, going in for a muda, you can totally do that. I mean, I really don't have any issue with that. You don't need to use the extension on the peg. But yeah, you can see the base works pretty good for him. That's good. That's good, dude. That's good. That's Zaworldo. And that's DIO. And that's pretty much my review. So yeah, these figures are expensive, man. They're so expensive. This duo cost me $140 for 2 figures. $140. That does include shipping, but still expensive. Very expensive stuff. These things are not cheap. These are like expensive import figures. It's not like a mainstream retail line where you can just walk in and be like, oh, I feel like buying Part 2 Joseph Joestar today. No, it's, I gotta wait for Medicos to re-release Part 2 Joseph Joestar because they only issue them every now and again. And also this is an expensive import line, so I have to blah, 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 this and that. It's irritating. It's expensive. I don't know how deep I'm going to go into it. I'm currently just focusing on Stardust Crusaders. Like, I've got Jotaro on pre-order. I want to get Polnareff. I have DIO. I have Joseph. I'm just going to focus on the Crusaders for now. Because I'm just going to focus on that. I'll have one complete, coherent collection for now. I don't know if I'm going to get all the Crusaders, though. I want a Kakyoin figure, but the Kakyoin figure looks kind of bad. You know? Like, he doesn't even have a cherry head. He doesn't even have a head doing do-do-do-do-do-do. He doesn't even have that. What? I mean, at least, I just don't get it. DIO comes with 3 heads. 1 head's totally useless. Joseph only comes with 2. He didn't even come with an oh my god head. You know? This line is weird. I hope, I mean, if they do make a domestic line, I'll at least, you know, I might, if I really like the domestic line, I might sell these on. I'm serious. A hypothetical domestic line, you know, I can only dream that maybe Bandai of America might make like some Anime Heroes JoJo stuff, or McFarlane might pick up the license and treat it like how they're treating My Hero Academia. Because, I mean, JoJo's a big deal. You know, it is. I'd say JoJo's a big deal. It's just kind of a shame that it's not really a big deal in the domestic markets, you know? I'm kind of surprised it's not as big a deal as I kind of expected. But still, I love JoJo. I fully intend on getting more figures. I don't know how many more. I really got to be careful. Like with Part 4, I really want a Josuke and I really want an Okuyasu. But it's like, should I get Rohan? Should I get Koichi? Should I don't know. Should I get Part 4 Jotaro as well as having Part 3? I don't know. I want them all, but I can't do it all. And like with Part 5, it's like, man, I'd either want them all or want none of them. Maybe I'd get Mista. Maybe I could just live with a Mista. But it's like, I also want all the JoJos. I'd want Giorno, you know. Ugh. Ah, man, I'm so conflicted. In part 1, they only got Jonathan and Dio. They don't have Speedwagon. They don't have all the others. Oh, man. It's irritating. I just love JoJo and I want toys, man. I want toys, but they're so expensive and there's not enough. First world problems. Alrighty, guys. I think I'm done talking. There's my review of Dio and Zawordo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3 Stardust Crusaders. Awesome figures. Be careful about Dio. He's a little fragile. Be careful about the world's extended stand piece. Honestly, don't even use it. Don't even be bothered. Yeah, they're great. That's pretty much it. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Arrivederci.